Way to start off with a membership. That's a great start. Thank you so much for that. Welcome to the Fam Bam. Hell, Nevin, eat his mommy. We're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case. Police have no record of whether Brian Koberger was even offered an intern position or months before the Idaho murders. I thought he was. I don't know if they're dropping the ball and getting lucky. Did they fall into this arrest? I'm starting to think that they didn't know too much more until the lab came back with, hey, we have a match of something. Did he leave the sheath on purpose? That was something we always thought about. Let's get into it. We'll also talk about Gabby Petito and the Petito family lawsuit against the Laundries and what's going on with that. I actually have all the paperwork, and we're going to go over it. See what that says. Crime and Justice and I will read it together for you guys, because that's what we do. Crime and Justice, thank you for being here. Please hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Truly appreciate you guys. It's been a while since I did the intro smooth to where it finishes right, but I didn't have an intro plan today, so it didn't matter.
Right? Did good though. Did good.
The intro is the easy part.
Right.
And it's okay to screw up the intro. Yeah, nobody cares about the intro. I can always cut it out too, and it means nothing. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I've thought about doing that before, but then it takes away your live chat, and that really sucks. Like if you had live chat in your stream, if you cut it or edit or whatever, it takes away all your live chat. So if you've ever missed, hey Mary, you're babysitting two of your grandchildren, just take them to the gym, drop them off at the daycare there, and then you can come back 8 hours later. The 24-hour fitness was great.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'll be back soon. They're like, where are you going? I was like, to work out. Forgot that you can't leave your kids.
Yeah.
I used to go golfing. Yeah, what do you want to get paid like $100 to a babysitter to stay for 5 hours? You go, no, you take them to the gym you already have a membership at and be like, no, I'm working. I had my earphones in, didn't hear you guys. Sorry.
Whoops.
Whoops. I'm just kidding. My dad did that actually. He's like, yeah, I'm taking your boys to church. I'm like, you want to take them to church? Okay. Take them to church.
Go to church.
I got a call from 24-hour fitness. Your kid said that we should call you. They don't know where their grandfather is. And I said, oh, he's probably golfing right down the street.
Oh God.
Okay, I'll be there soon. I got to make one stop first. Caught him on the putting green, straight up.
Oh no.
He was even doing the shimmy.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, he's practicing punt and the shimmy. Lord, help us all.
Oh, that's not good.
Let me make sure this isn't playing anything here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Present. This always help me because when my eyes go bad, they're starting to go bad, and I don't have to like make an excuse. You guys, I can be like, it's already on the screen. Don't judge me.
Right.
Right. Oh, man, if I look like Murdaugh in glasses, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. All right, so this says police have no record of whether Brian Koberger was offered intern position months before Idaho murders. Do you know what position we're talking about here? Is this the one where you wanted to do that public safety thing for the police or whatever?
Yeah. That's what I would assume they're talking about, but I thought that we had already seen stuff that said he will.
What about a letter he wrote? Like, thank you for opportunity and all that other stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen the emails that he had actually went, and talked to the police department about that.
Right.
So how are they now saying there's no record? That's
let's find out. It says the Independent filed a public record request with the Pullman Police Department earlier this year. So apparently it just came back, or this newspaper's lying. Oh Lord, I've been going through this again. X marks the spot there. Okay.
No, well, they pop up so many different things in the middle of it. Come on.
Son of a gun. How do I take this whole thing off here?
Seriously.
I can't even go fast. I tried to even go faster. Okay, it says the Washington State Police Department that interviewed Brian Koberger for an internship months before the Idaho murders has no documentation regarding whether he was offered the position. Says the Independent filed a public records request with the Pullman Police Department earlier this year asking for any documents related to Mr. Koberger's application for the research assistantship for public safety position. One of the core goals of the request was to determine whether Mr. Koberger had been offered the position, as the department had previously declined to answer that question. So maybe they never did. It was just his thank you letter or something, thank you email to the police chief or whatever. He never got the job, and I don't think they even acknowledged him. I think he even said that. He said they didn't even acknowledge me. Yeah. So he never had that job, obviously, either. Close. Ah, there it is. X marks the spot.
Well, I mean, maybe just because he applied for it doesn't mean that they, did anything with it.
We haven't had too much really, really good super sleuthing lately. It's actually been on the very low to moderate level. So maybe it's just like nobody even tried to sleuth it. They just assumed that they heard it and you have to go with it.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what happened too. A little lazy in this community for some.
Well, I've noticed a lot of the mainstream media has started doing that as well. They don't.
Yeah, badly.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a stance against this gag order, right?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I think so. I mean, I know a lot of them have, kind of added their names to the list of, people that are like, hey, we need to file stuff in court to get it opened up.
Well, you said it yourself. People screwed this up. People magazine, people, YouTube. Yeah, they told us, and we're confident that Brian Koberger went in there and got 2 vegan pizzas in the past, at the Mad Greek, which is now the Angry Greek, because he was lying on them, and they had to come out and not only fix the information, but have to re-deal with it. They're going through it too. I'm sure that, it's either hurt their business or made it to where it's like kind of unmanageable, maybe lost a person or just running around in circles, answering phone calls that you shouldn't normally have to do during your shift.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably no. This is JLR. Please call me back. By the way, this is JLR. Can you please call me back? Yeah, this is JLR. I don't know if you got my message yet. Yeah, this is the JLR. Breaking news. Have you got my message yet? Can you imagine him trying to go undercover? Breaking news. JLR here, undercover. He couldn't do it. He can only do the aliens.
Yeah.
Apparently Dylan was scared. What she heard in that night. Well, we don't know what she actually heard. I'm not here to shame her or talk about her. I mean, she's a key witness to us right now. I want her to stay as far away from drama or any talk that possible, to be honest. Exactly. And Bethany too. Bethany Funk too. Yeah, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk need to be coddled right now. They do.
They do.
They need to have an advocate with them too.
Yeah. They're going to need an advocate. They're going to need therapists. They're going to need a lot of help getting through this.
Yeah. I like Ashley Banfield, and we're going to watch a little bit of her today, but like, she's, I don't know. I just, they're the news. They go down a different road than we do. And mainstream media has like a weird approach to going a straight line, like a normal straight line.
Yeah.
They're just liars. They obviously they'll put it in the cops' favor most of the time, if not all the time, because they have that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And they want to know when the press conferences are, and they want to have good communication about where the scenes are and everything. Like, where do we go? Like, can we call the cops? Yeah, we can, because we have a good relationship. Like, they want to keep that, and that's what they have. I mean, the cops, they're very attentive to their press conferences. If you've never noticed, like they do it for them. Go to all their microphones right there at the podium. Yeah,
they do.
They're friends.
They do. I mean, and the majority of your mainstream media, I think, does a pretty fair job. It's just some of them, they'll get information from all these unidentified sources, and then they just pick it up and run with it.
Right.
There's no, second check to make sure you're putting out facts. It's just, okay, well, if they said it, it must be true, and let's just go with it. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I wish they would stop doing, because that does hurt people.
Why do you think I take time off cases too? Like, if there's something you just can't, I don't want to say milk it. You just can't go any further. What happens is when you go further than you should, you start milking it, and it looks bad. Like, if you're still putting out videos of Kylie Rodney, or you just put your last one out, because you just thought it was a good idea and you're from the UK, so you think it's okay. No, it's not okay.
It's not.
It's free victimization at its finest. But you guys don't care because we'll never hear an apology from any one of those people. And it's not our place to even say who does what, because all we care about is what we do on our own channels, right?
Exactly.
But it affects people in general. That's what upsets me, is it hurts these families like Dylan's mom, like Candace and these other people that have been just trampled on by people for a story.
Yeah, I mean that's what I wish people would stop doing, but unfortunately I don't in reality think that's ever going to happen.
Right. No, I hope I have a dream. It sounds like somebody said that before.
I think I've heard that before. Yeah.
One day. Yeah, the one day I could take one small step for humankind, and then mankind will come somewhere. I don't know. Actually,
like that, right?
Yeah, this is. I mean, did we even land on the moon? I can't even say the words if we didn't really. Right.
See, we don't know.
Prove it.
We don't know.
No, this is a conspiracy channel. No.
No. Not going down that rabbit hole.
We're going to be doing 4 shows today, you guys. So if you're wondering what the deal is, I'm going to be going, and then Crime and Justice will be going about 45 minutes later after we finish. And then I'm going to be putting up a Summer Wells thing that's about 4 or 5 hours long for you guys. It's just a wealth of information for everybody. And we're not going to be talking at all. Well, we'll be talking because we're on the thing, but like we won't be talking because, well, we'll be here, but not talking to you. Basically is what it is, but it will be in chat, you know? So yeah, so we'll be, and then we'll be on Crime and Justice's for the closing 8:30ish, I think spot. I think 8:30 p.m. Pacific time will be our final show, but we're going to try to squeeze all these in because some of this information we have, if you put it out tomorrow, it just doesn't make sense to anybody, and it won't be worth to do that for anybody's time or effort. So we wanted to make sure we got all this stuff out and stayed with the court days that we're dealing with and with the cases that we're dealing with, the mass shooting. I mean, what do we do by the time we put that out? If we don't do it after this show, then I'm sure it would be like another mass shooting before we could even do that.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it like that, but you know, two-thirds of our year so far, people have been mass shootings. Yeah. 2/3 of our year.
It's been really bad.
It's been terribly sad. Terribly sad. And what's even more terribly sad is that they're trying to use the gun, you know, take the gun rights away from people. And we'll talk more about that on your show because that's on your show, not mine. So you guys, if you're interested in that, that'll be next after this show over at Crime and Justice. So if you're not subscribed to her, you should be. Like, share, and subscribe. So back to the public record request. A public records officer responded to the request with 10 documents on Friday, but with a major caveat. The Pullman Police Department doesn't know or have any documentation regarding whether or not Mr. Koberger was chosen for the internship position, the officer stated in the email. Mr. Koberger, 28, is facing 4 murder charges in the brutal stabbings of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin in an off-campus rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th. He was arrested in Pennsylvania 30th December and is now being held behind bars in Idaho in his June preliminary hearing. An affidavit for Mr. Koberger arrest revealed that he had applied for the internship with the Pullman Police Department, which has played a significant role in investigating the murder case. Right? So if he actually got in, could you imagine if he got in and then he commits this crime and he's just sitting in there listening to everybody talk and finding out what they're doing and who they think it is and how it's working?
See that?
Well, it's like infiltration at its finest.
Maybe that's what he was intending to do, and they just never got back with him. We know that he applied for it at least.
You know what I can tell you about Koberger is that like he gives that perception of that, you know, he was doing, you know, he had these positions, or like I'm sure he told all of his students or that he graded their work, that they knew that he possibly was there working, right? But like he would have manipulated this all the way through the teaching course of it, where he was teaching a class, because his goal would have been to teacher, right? Because then he could actually have the think tank right in front of him.
Yeah.
And they could all be talking about who did the Idaho 4 murders. And he's like, wow, I did this. And they don't even know. That was his goal. Just fire under the radar, right? Go back to school like nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did, and of whenever they were bringing it up in class, he wasn't really, responding or saying anything, but I think he was just kinda taking it all in.
Oh, it's the only thing he's never said anything about, and didn't get up
Yeah.
and talk like he's better than everybody. That's how he is usually.
Yeah, see, I
Right.
mean, that's a huge red flag right there because that's a
Yeah.
complete change up of his behavior.
Well, what about the doing the that social experiment, trying to get all these criminals to come and he was going to just try to brainwash them, or maybe get a little team together without them even knowing they were part of a criminal team or something, right? Like
Yeah.
brainwash them, like he wanted to know their charges, how they got caught, everything, right? How did jail go, all that stuff. He should write a
Oh.
book on how to get pulled over. Yeah, he could do
Right?
that, right? How to
He
get pulled
could,
over everywhere you
he
go
could.
by Brian Koberger.
How to get caught for everything. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
That would go over well.
Oh, yeah, you guys are talking about me in the chat. What's going on here? I feel it. What's going on here?
Oh, I don't know. What is going on over here, people?
Oh, we got more of you in here. Oh, I should have known. What's that second word?
Can't.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it looks like it totally. That's what I thought too, but like, just you missed. You were way off on that one. I can't help to wonder if BK maybe did all this just to get off with a defense, like deliberately. Crazy theory, I know. Well, that's not crazy, because I said in the very beginning, my theory was that this was a game to him. He wanted to get caught, and that I actually said that he left probably a sheath or something there, or left something there as a clue, and it just started turning really weird, because he was always better. He thought he was smarter than the cops, and he didn't do this in Pennsylvania, people.
No.
Right? Like, if you want to do that in a state, like, he should have done it there, not where they don't take like your mental case here, or like, and they have the death penalty. Like, he done like push the limit on all that, right? If he couldn't become a serial killer because he missed out by one extra time of killing, like the next day, I mean, that would have made him a serial killer if he just waited till the next day. It's got to be two separate incidences, or he doesn't even have to wait till the next day. He could have just gone and left the house and then went and killed someone else, and that would have been a serial killer.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really know that that's what he was going after. I don't really know that he wanted to become a serial killer. I think he maybe, just did this to see if he could get away with it.
He wants to be that guy. How do you become better than any serial killer? You don't get ever caught, and you're teaching a crime class, a criminology class, and you're living in the world, working at the police station. Like, that guy, if he would have got all the jobs that he wanted and internships he wanted in there, like, he would have been like he would have been a force to be reckoned with, to be honest, because he's a bookworm too. Once he gets around those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't
Oh,
think that
thank you,
was
Zita.
ever his intention to, like, okay, my goal in life now is to become a serial killer. I think it was to do something massive and shocking and be able to get away with it.
Try to beat the law.
Yeah, I mean, I think he, pretty much he thought he was, book wise smart enough to be able to, to beat this and not get caught. But luckily, he made a lot of really
Well,
dumb mistakes.
he definitely. Well, we don't know if they're really dumb yet. Like, what if he didn't even have the same K-bar knife they're actually thinking? Because they were describing a totally different knife at first, but they have the knife sheath, which means it's got to be something to that manner, right? Like,
Yeah,
see, it's a game to him, all of it. Now, would he leave it? Right? Did the belt that he didn't wear? Did he not wear a belt? I mean, that would be the only thing that would got him caught now, because the sheath fell out of his pocket, or he left
yeah.
it. It's two things. He either left it on purpose, or he left it on accident.
I don't think he would have left it on purpose. I think
Why not?
because that's too big of a risk of him getting caught. Why would you want to put additional evidence at the scene if you're trying to get away with something?
What if he used a different knife? it wasn't that exact knife. Like, and they're going to come back and they could figure it out. Or, I mean, honestly, they're just going with the gashes and things like that. No, I haven't seen, let me see. This says, have you seen the post about Dylan and a friend went to the Vegan Valley? Oh, somebody sent me that, and I was like, dude, if they're saying this is Dylan Rounds, they were way off on this one. I thought that was about Dylan Rounds. I was actually angry. I was like, are people really this crazy? Okay. Makes more sense now. I even have those texts. Let me read them. I'll read them first, and then we'll go to the rest of this. Actually, does this even say anything new? Let me check first. Yeah, it'll just tell us what it did. We'll go to that in a second. Let me read these to you guys. All right, so this is coming from Kelly Keller, Help Missing Come Home, volunteer community. It says, well, why does it say your boy, Dylan, has gone vegan living high up off the grid of Murder Mountain? See, this is they really are that dumb.
Yeah.
For the love of God and everything holy. I sent this to Candace too right away. I was like, what's going on here with this case? Do you want me to answer anything? And she's like, this is clearly not about Dylan. She said that. I have the text message from her. Yeah. So
that is
where you getting this is from? MP66 Jen. Where are you getting that this is about that Dylan? It's Dylan Rounds.
I've never even seen. I haven't seen
Dylan
it.
Rounds. Talk about Dylan Rounds, you guys. I did have those, and I was like, wait, those are about her? I could have sworn they were about Dylan Rounds. I'd seed from the two boys, Dylan's boyfriend and Dylan, for their 88. Yeah, this is, and he's not gay. They're trying to make him gay. This is so crazy. See, this is what I'm talking about in cases. These people, people that think Brian Enton's that he did this. He's suspicious in front of the house with a microphone. Yeah, it's that guy. He's got a camera, a news crew, and everything else right in front of videotaping, but he's suspicious.
Yeah.
Way to go. These people.
No, it's like the ones that put that Facebook post out claiming, oh, I'm part of the family, and Koberger had a security guard with him and went off and left him, and yeah.
Let me ask you a question. In Indy, I know. Let me ask you, because I don't think you're a troll, or are you? Just wondering. Now I'm confused. Just play the song just in case.
Confused. I don't know.
Trolls, trolling all the time.
Just get it out of the way just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
These two. Oh, drop an F-bomb. We're not cussing anymore, so we got to do that, right?
Yeah, we have to.
What the? We're good.
See, what we're going to have to do is get a whole basket full of those F-bombs so we could just start throwing them whenever we need to.
Yvonne Vaughn, can you work on that? Change the red flags out. The virtual red flags, get virtual F-bombs, please. Yeah, just email me about that. I'll send you virtual ones. Unlimited stock. Yeah. Mr. Jenkins, who no longer works for the department, told Independent that he had been advised not to comment on the matter when contracted on Monday. Although there was reportedly no email trail on Mr. Koberger's job offer or rejection by the department, the PhD criminology student at WSU sent an email to Mr. Jenkins, followed an approximately 45-minute online interview. So that's anyone could write a thank you letter, and that person that gets the thank you may not even know who you are and why you're thanking them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because it would not be hard for him to get the email address to send it to.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, is Indy trolling? I was wondering. He was pretty way off on that one. I got to take care of her real quick. I got to fix you before I get another text message from this lady. She's kind of wackadoo, so I got to put like a wrench or something at her face.
Oh, yeah.
That one from last night. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
She's here. She can hear us. They were trolling on Dylan's page. Got into it. Oh, really? Well, you guys, Dylan Rounds, we're coming up soon on answers. Like, we're supposed to get them very, very soon. like tomorrow, I believe, was Candace was saying. So Let's get back to this Dylan, though.
about time.
It's totally different Dylan, you guys. Totally different Dylan. Okay, so this is crazy. So everybody ran with that. He had like pretty much talked to the guy or followed up before he wrote that thank you letter, but he just wrote it immediately after he left, emailed it out or sent it. The guy didn't even know who he was. He didn't even get the job.
No. I mean, it's just like anything else. Just because you interview for a job doesn't mean you're going to get it.
I just say just because I'm gonna meet some person later that I call my friend doesn't mean that my friend. It doesn't mean I'm gonna even meet him, right? Like it just doesn't.
No.
But I wouldn't say that unless I meant it, or I wouldn't do so. Like his behavior it's totally off, right? I think he was back on like he was dabbling into drugs again. I could swear that he was dabbling, whatever you want to call it.
That's
something.
possible.
Yeah.
Or is he just so much of an arrogant narcissist that he just automatically assumes that whatever he sets out to do, he's going to be able to accomplish? And maybe he was just like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
I've done the interview. They're going to call me any minute now for this job. I got this.
Do you remember when I told you he gave up pretty much on life around September?
Yeah.
And then October comes around and he goes and watch the Jason movie or the Halloween movie comes out. Everybody getting stabbed and stuff. And September he gave up on everything, gave up on life. He didn't want to do anything else. He couldn't go any further.
Yeah,
he's tired of everything. Yeah.
That was around about the time that they started kind of getting on him about his behaviors with this teaching assistant thing too.
Because he couldn't follow the curriculum just for like the stuff he needed to put. Like, can you not write your name like first and then last or whatever? Like he couldn't figure it. He just didn't care anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, they had gotten on to him multiple times about the way he was, grading papers, the way he was, being judgmental and harsh towards women and things like that, and he just wouldn't stop.
Well, he's always been like that. He's just an a-hole. That's a fact. He's rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. That's him.
Yeah,
and he's got a big old schnozzle.
Exactly.
Right. He's got that Pinocchio lying nose that keeps growing and growing and growing at like a weird slope. That deviated rectum / septum / rectum septum. Is that the same? That's not the same place. Rectum. Well, he's gonna have a deviated rectum too. You know that. As soon as Bubba gets a hold of him in there, and Koberger, you deserve it. Not gonna lie. Following women to the bathrooms and to cars. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Although there was reportedly no email trail for Mr. Koberger's job offer or rejection by the department, the PhD criminology student at WSU sent that email to Mr. Jenkins following an approximate 45-minute online interview. So it was an online interview. I wonder if he even saw the guy's face to face. If they was just like, I'll answer this 10 questions and then we'll see if we pass or something. Mr. Koberger wrote that, "It was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share thoughts and excitement." Mr. Jenkins replied that it was great to meet you and talk with you as well. So that's like a generic answer. Like,
yeah.
Like I've had a conversation with somebody for like 15 minutes thinking they knew me and I knew them and neither of us knew each other. And we talked it out for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Damn well. Oh yeah. Talked about our kids, talked about like what we're doing and everything in life. And like, none of us really cared because none of us knew each other. Like,
right.
I gotta go, dude. I got things to do. Right.
People do that to me all the time. They're like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but okay.
I heard something about that Purple Passion, but I'm not really like, not big on going into that, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was like I was very disturbed because I saw like a kid's drag race on TV or some weird thing where dressing kids up and taking them there. Like a 4-year-old doesn't know anything. Like, why are you making it? They feel like it's something it isn't. And so but it's not that I have a problem with anybody who wants to identify with anything. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with anybody that wants to, gay, straight, trans, whatever. I don't, as long as it's not getting up in my business or it's not my problem or like, I'm not getting grabbed on. I don't care. Like one of my best friends is gay. I have no problem with that. Like
I don't, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that bothers me is whenever people try to push that on people that are not old enough to make that decision for themselves.
Correct. Exactly.
That's where I think it becomes an issue. But
what would this matter if she was? I mean, that she was stronger if she fought him, and then he thought it was a bad idea once he saw the shoulders on her, or what? You're like, oh, she's got full back shoulders on.
I don't.
Check for an Adam's apple before I stab you, please. I don't know. I think that works.
I don't think it would really matter one way or the other. I mean,
That's why I'm wondering why this would matter. I don't mean to. I'm not getting on you or anything. I'm trying to be. I'm curious. What does it do? Where does it? Where would it take us?
yeah, I can't see what that would have to do with anything.
Right. I don't know where it would take us. There's an interview with a woman who said BK was her love of her life and never met him. Yes, that lady from Facebook. Yeah, she's a little weird. I don't even want to mention her name because I don't want you to go to look at what she's been doing. Like, she knew he wasn't going to answer her. He didn't even get all those. They cut those off over at where they send the mail to wherever he is.
I wonder if he even got any of her letter, if he's even getting any of her letters.
I don't think he even knows about it unless his attorneys told him. They're probably not giving him anything that has to do with stalkers or anybody who's in love. Like, that's part of the case, like stalking and everything. They're not going to let that through right now.
No,
not at all.
She's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She needs to go.
Yeah.
Get some help.
Well, her last love interest, he passed away, or would he be sentenced to death? Is that what it was? He was in jail already. He was already in jail for life for murder. So
yes, he was in jail for murder. He did die, but I'm not sure. I believe the state executed him.
Yeah, so she considered that a breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it wasn't her fault. It was the state's fault. I remember that.
Yeah.
Blame the state.
Much.
That'd be funny. Applicants were informed on the 22nd of August whether they were selected for the role or not, which was created to help support Pullman PD through data management and analysis. Mr. Jenkins, who is no longer working for the department, told the Independent that he had been advised not to comment on the matter when contacted on Monday. Although there is reportedly no email trail on Koberger's job offer or rejection by the department, the PhD criminology student of WSU sent an email to Mr. Jenkins just 45 minutes later. Koberger wrote that, "It's just a great pleasure. Looking forward to working with you. It's great excitement." That's just weird. I mean, do you think that how many people were trying out for the job? Like, do you think he was remembered? Like, he probably was for his like creepy visual snow look, but like,
I don't know. Probably not, though. He probably really didn't make as big of an impact as he thought he did, because clearly he didn't get the job. So
they didn't even like tell him no. They just didn't respond to him. Like, that's
what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, something must have definitely been off. They didn't even, at least they could have, politely declined, but they chose like, hey, we'll just ignore this one completely.
Right. And it says the internship had been previously mentioned by law enforcement in an affidavit for Mr. Koberger's arrest, released on 5th of January. It stated that Mr. Koberger had written an essay that he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. They said it in different kind of wording last time, but yeah, is that the only thing they had going on there? Like, I just don't know what he's trying to do with public safety. I mean, obviously, he's a threat to the public.
I mean, maybe he thought, okay, if he goes to work in this public safety job, nobody would be looking at him like, oh, he's a good person. He works with the police department. Don't look at him.
Well, see, that's another thing. Like, would you be looking at like the law professors and the police if someone did that? They're the last people you look at.
Exactly.
It's the weird thing. Even though she's involved with like BT, can I say BTK? I guess I can. It doesn't strike me. I don't know. BTK, like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. All right. So anyway, there's no reason that she would ever helped him get to a position. Do you think that teacher knew that he was turning kind of killer-like? Like, do you think she didn't pick this up? I mean, she had to have. I mean, if she's like dealing with all these people and decoding stuff so that she could hang out with the BTK and talk to him, like, she's got that ability to think. She's not stupid.
Well, no, she's not. But I mean, you don't know. I mean, he might have possibly been really good at manipulating people too.
Dude's got a personality of a bowling ball and he looks funny. Like, how would he get any time to manipulate anybody? Like, he's too rude. Like, he can't even stay long enough so she could finish going pee-pee. She was like kicking him out inside. You gotta go.
Exactly.
Right? I don't know why she's faking throw out. I would just be like,
Be like, straight up, dude, you got to go.
Right.
This
yeah,
is
you
not, this
got
is
to
not
go. I got to
happening.
go. You know what I mean? Like, it's not working out tonight, pal. You know, go.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, do me a favor. Could you run down to the store and get me some medicine? And as soon as you're out of there, I'm locking that door.
You know what's funny about being bi? My first, and it's not funny about you being bi or anybody being bi. Like my ex, like my brain works a lot different than normal people. Like
Right.
she's like, "Hey, I'm bi." I'm like, "Sweet, I've never tried that before." And she's like, and I said, "Okay, like, what's going on?" And she's like, "Bipolar." I was like, "Damn it, I should have waited till she finished."
Oh, God. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. All right, so probably no cocaine and condoms then tonight, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll
Yeah,
skip that.
Skip that.
Off the list. Go to the list. All right. Cocaine and condoms. It's not even Friday night. What was I thinking?
I don't know.
In particular, the study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offenses with emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. So this is the kind of the recruitment that he was trying to do. He was trying to do some weird recruiting of people just to find out, so how do I get out of trouble, or what don't I know yet about the legal system, right? He's a bookworm. Like he thinks like that. He's got a fresh crease down his shirt. Look at that. No one's ever worn that before.
Oh no,
And
they got him a brand new outfit. Look
straight up
there.
skinny jeans too. What's up with that?
They cared so much they got him a brand new outfit, and it all matches too.
She looks like a pumpkin. Okay.
Right.
Mr. Koberger applied for the position at Pullman PD before starting his first semester at WSU last fall. He went to work teaching assistant in the criminology department in August as part of his graduate program. It has since emerged that within a month, he was already under investigation by the university because of behavioral problems and sexist attitude towards women. You don't say. The outlet obtained a detailed timeline of his issues in the department, revealing that Mr. Koberger was warned multiple times about his behavior and was brought into several meetings with professors due to their concerns. Yeah, they were pretty bad. I think it went like this. They were like,
Uh-oh.
this is how they let him go.
Oh.
I know it looks like Yvonne's toe, but I think they give him the finger and said, "You're fired."
Right.
Yeah, that's all they wrote. I think they actually did this. They just did like, yeah.
They're like, you're out and the door's that way.
They actually wrote like BK, not BTK, just to rub it in. Yeah, it's probably in purple pen too. I don't know why it would be purple pen, but that's all I have right here. So I'm going with what is purple for 5,000, Alec? Ding, 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 daily double.
There you go.
In his brief 4 months of stint as a teaching assistant, Mr. Koberger has also reportedly got into multiple altercations with one professor, Professor John Snyder. On December 19th, just 11 days before his arrest, Mr. Koberger was ultimately fired from his WSU teaching post, reported News Nation. So, he killed them before that.
Yeah.
So, like, you'd have to wonder, like, he was done already. Like, he knew he wasn't going to be going any further, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Roswell, baby, good to see you.
But I mean, they had been on him about his behavior and threatening to get rid of him since like mid-September.
Yeah, see, like he had to know he was going to do the killing because he probably knew he was just going to jail. He didn't have anything else to go do. He
No.
couldn't go get a job. What is he going to do? Sit there and just be a student? You don't want that. He got as far as he thought he could get. Yeah.
And at that point,
smart as he could.
Him losing that teaching position, he may not have been able to continue going to school there.
Well, yeah, he'd had to go home anyway.
As that teaching position was paying him, that's how he was, affording to live there to continue going to school.
So
from what I understood.
So Daddy was going to have to come back and move him out of there too, like he moved him in.
Possibly.
See, Brian's a grown ass man. He can't seem to do anything right on his own though. It's like he shouldn't have been driving either. Like his dad should have been driving. They would have never got pulled over.
Well, I mean, if you're 28 years old and your daddy's still having to try to, help you make friends, that's kind of weird. So clearly he has issues doing anything by himself.
Do you think they're going to pull in a grand jury?
Honestly, no.
That's what they should do. Just grand jury it. Forget the whole prelim.
They should have done that from straight from the jump, but I don't think at this point that they're going to.
Well, that'd be the only thing that speeds up this trial.
Yeah. And I got a feeling this one is going to drag out for a long time. I don't think they're not going to do anything quick here.
You know, that's what's sad about this is that Dylan and Bethany are going to have to keep living this until this court date's over, or until their court dates are over. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like this is bad. You know, it's bad, especially if if they're getting beat up. Like, there's a lot of holes that could be put into Dylan's story. But if you kind of just think about it, because I've got major PTSD. I've had freakouts before, like, and not like certain people who run on the freeway and say, "Facebook, help me! Facebook, help me!" I haven't done that yet.
No,
I haven't tried that yet.
I
just started Facebooking actually again, so I would have said, "YouTube, help me." I would have just been way off. So
right.
it's not as funny when you say, "YouTube, help me," because that's what I'm usually doing when I'm not live streaming. I'm getting YouTube help, like, help me. YouTube's not working for me this way. And they answer you. You can't even call YouTube. It's so crazy. So Koberger, so we really got to know what was in his car, right? Did they find any DNA, blood, knives, any kind of bloody towels, anything like that, right? DNA of any sort?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be huge.
Right. His telephone records, huge.
What's on his computers?
Not from his office. Not from his office, because they didn't even need a warrant for. Yeah, they didn't need a warrant for that, people. If you didn't know that, they didn't even need a warrant for that.
But his home computer, what's on the Fire Stick they took from his TV, that's all going to be important.
Big time. Big time.
And maybe possibly anything they found at his parents' house, but I really don't think he was stupid enough to take stuff all the way to his parents' house with him.
You never know. You never know.
Anything he did, I think he got rid of before that point. But
he was dumb enough to kill people. Like, don't put anything by the guy. Like, listen, this guy's like the worst person. Like, he didn't. This is the first like real thing he's ever gotten in trouble for. The other things have been like tickets and stuff. Like, he chose murder right away instead of like maybe robbing a bank. Maybe start there, like halfway.
Yes, well, that's the thing that always kind of it kind of shocks me, because usually,
thank you.
Usually you see people escalate to this point. And he's like, nah, you know what? A couple of traffic tickets and murder. That sounds like the way to go.
Seriously, yeah, maybe start with like a home invasion or something. I'm just saying. Going straight to the murder. It's crazy. And it's stupid. Like, that's why I think he knew he was going to get caught. Like, this is his challenge. If he could beat this, that makes him better than anybody like he thinks. That godlike complex, he's got that, right? He's got that God complex.
If he beats this thing, it's not going to be good.
Oh, it'll start riots everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably will.
It is not going to be good.
I'll loot my own shit in here, but I won't go out the doors and do it.
He's going to have a target on his back from the minute they release him.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
See, being that I live in LA, it's where the boobs are fake, but the assholes are real. And we will loot and we'll blow stuff up and light stuff on fire, even if we win. That's how bad the people are out here. Like, we're like, oh, we just won the World Series. Okay, cool. Let's go light the city on fire.
Exactly.
Wait, don't you guys want to celebrate? No. We're just losing.
You celebrate by breaking your own stuff, right?
I throw my own phone. Yeah, you really did it good this time. Idiots.
Get mad and tear my own stuff up. How about that? I'll show you. I'll destroy everything I own.
See what happens. You should. I think I said something. I think I even said YouTube FU in here, but I didn't say the bad word. Let's see. I had a little bit of video on my video before. I didn't know it was in my editor, and well, this is what happens. I'll share it with you guys. Might as well not hide anything, right? It's about honesty here and integrity, and me. Let's just do it all the way here. All right. So I was definitely walking Winston at this time. I didn't even know my camera was on or something. I think I was just pissed because YouTube kicked me out, but I think I hit my camera on accident, like the button on the side. I had to change that option. You know that I had like an emergency button like turned on my phone. So if I click the button like 2 times fast, like it sends out SOSs to people. I had people calling me like, "Hey, are you okay?" It's like, "Who is this? And do you really care that much? Why are you calling me to see if I'm okay? Your phone actually told us to call you." I'm like, "Oh shoot, really do? I should send him a Christmas card next year, right?" And I didn't know. Yeah, they really care. All right, I got CC too. Okay, closed caption. Let's rock. Probably just make a little video. Yes, that was it.
Fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you, YouTube.
I did say F you, YouTube. I totally did that 100%. F you, YouTube. I think that's fun to see if I can sneak that into this. It's classic. Get that one last time.
The case of a mother accused of killing her son in Chatham County was back in court today.
Leilani Simon is facing 19 charges of the
19.
That includes felony murder. And today's news cameras were banned from.
Yeah, stay away, Betty. Stay away, Cher. Stay away, everyone. That's what they're saying. That's because of them, not us.
No live streaming.
Unless they saw the Jared Lasik one. Yeah, if they saw the Jared Lasik one, then it was definitely us.
Whoops.
Duty wrong, actually. But yeah, whatever. I'll take the blame.
Oh well. It happens.
It is what it is. I was the only one that wrote to them and apologized. And they're like, "Hey, we're not going to charge you for anything. Don't worry. But don't do that again." I was like, it was actually Crime and Justice's fault. I blamed you. I went to my my bag of tricks. It was straight to passing the blame. So much easier. That's it.
Exactly. That shows management potential. You have to.
So this what I want, like the last. I don't think. Stop it. Stop. I don't think they talk about it in this one. I haven't watched this one yet. But I actually made a video recently that there was 8 notebooks that were turned over by Billy Joe Howell to the courts the other day. She went to court, handed in 8 so-called diary. We don't know what's in them. My thing is this: it can make her look bad, it can make her look great, and it can make her look very innocent. I don't think there's going to be anything in there showing that she's guilty. It's going to actually probably be different. And that worries me because we really don't know. We haven't heard from Danny and we haven't heard from anybody else. But we got to remember who nobody was talking about is Paul, the brother that was there at the time this happened. Why isn't Paul being talked about? Unless he's a key witness, why isn't Paul being talked about ever?
No, we've never heard anything from him or really about anything other than the fact that in the very beginning they said he was there.
He was there. No, it was a fact. He was there in the house.
Yeah.
Where did he go though? It's like he was there when we saw that guy Michael, the brother Michael, when he came on my show and everything too. Like there were some people who wanted to really just, talk instead of the people that were there. That's kind of what got me weirded out. Like we didn't hear Danny, we didn't hear Paul, but we heard Michael, who just came in to start filtering information out or things like that, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna get interesting. Someone else gonna get in trouble because she claims they're innocent still. She still says she's innocent.
Oh, of course she does.
Good luck with
I
that
just
one.
don't know what her journals would have in it that they would be interested in. Are they?
Well, they're calling them diaries is another thing like that I'm getting like I get it, like an older person has journals, but like I knew someone who was like 30 said I have to go write my diary. I was like, yeah. So whatever, as long as I get 15 minutes to just be by myself and just relax, it'll be fine. Go write in your diary.
Right.
And then I could go take a bong whip. Right? I just wanted a bong whip. That's it. Just one bong whip.
That's all.
Includes felony murder, and today's news cameras were banned from her room. TLC Shay Schrader was there and has all details for us.
About a few important points. These are the key parts.
Hello.
Couple of things, including what media access to the case will look like moving forward and whether evidence from Leilani's mother, Billy Howell, will make it into the courtroom. In a break from past hearings, District Attorney Shalana Cook Jones was part of the state's legal team today. As District Attorney Tim Dean stated to Judge Tammy Stokes that the state objects to any recordings or live streaming of future proceedings in order to protect the privacy of Quentin Simon's two siblings, who he said were inextricably linked to the case. The defense all
That's the face of someone who should be in jail also. But justice for Quentin, justice for Quentin. This is what she used to say, actually. She was yelling that. Remember, she was in the front yard yelling that out over the gate.
Yeah, she
Back
was.
at people. She had to be told
Also
to yell
remember
it, but
she
she
said
did, though.
that- Also remember she said, I didn't have anything to do with this, and if I did, I'll take myself down there and turn myself in.
I'll walk right down there. I said, no, we'll get you a ride. We'll get you a county taxi.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Sit tight. Get you
But
an Uber
I don't
Black.
know, from the very beginning, who says that? If I did.
Her brother's a murderer too. Not the Paul, but the other brother, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they
Yep.
sucker somebody to go out into like the middle of the forest or something, and then they stabbed him or shot him over
Yeah, he
drugs,
shot him.
drug deal?
Yeah, he shot him and robbed him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. And she's one of her friends was like, "Hey, it's not his fault. It's not your fault. It's not his fault. It was an accident." No, there's no accident about tying somebody up and shooting them or something like that. I think that was the extent of it.
Yeah, I don't know how you accidentally get 5 people to go out in the woods with you to rob somebody and shoot them.
So do I think,
How do you accidentally rob somebody? First off, like I don't. Yeah.
see, my thing is this: you just take everything they have when you see them. Just take it, empty your pocket. That's how you rob somebody. I mean,
No, but
I
I mean,
think
how do
that's
you
that-
accidentally? I'm saying you don't do that on
accidentally?
accident. Oops, I didn't mean to tell you to give me all your money and everything you had. Like,
right?
oops, I didn't mean to point a gun at you.
Oops, I didn't mean
No.
to shoot at you like Eddie, right? Like, yeah, it's all one of these things. But yeah, she's a straight POS. Exactly right, Plant Diva. Terrible person, terrible mother. And Billy Joe Howell should have never left her kids with this girl right here. Billy Joe Howell should be responsible still in my eyes. I think she's a terrible person too. Not only has she lost kids in the past, but I was dead on about her being a whore when I called her one.
Yep.
Like, cause I did say that. I'm sorry. Cause I'm trying to clean up my language and all, but I could have sworn she was snorting cocaine off that waiter's ass at Tybee Island or whatever it was. Right.
Oh, she probably would have been.
Yeah.
Just
She was hitting on him too. And she's married.
Yeah.
She got his number and she's married. This just tells you what kind of family this is. That's why her face is so effed up. Like it looks beat up. Like it's like a set of nuts were going against it like 17 years straight back when she worked the streets. What else am I going to say? I don't know what else would look like that. I mean, craters that came from Nutch. You know what I'm saying? It's Nutch.
Rash.
also asked that any recordings of the case be handled on a hearing-by-hearing basis. Their main concern with court being recorded,
Radio gods.
Leilani Simon's right to a fair trial. Judge Stokes ruled that there will be no live streaming of the case moving forward and that she'll make a ruling on whether media organizations can record on an individual basis. Billy Howell was all today after being subpoenaed by the state to produce documents. She turned over 8 journals of Leilani's to the court that Leilani had written in while at a treatment center following her son's death. Judge Stokes will hold the journals and make a ruling on whether to quash the subpoena at a later time.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Uh,
Shouldn't be any commercials in here.
Embarrassment.
Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. I'm gonna delete the video after I use it anyway, so it's whatever. It's my video. Thank you, YouTube. That sucks. I thought I was even on my free account. I guess I'm not.
Ew.
We get to the donut of death. What's going on here?
Circles. Round and round.
Lucas on like this is not okay. There we go.
Say that the court hasn't been defense pertaining to
needs to
Howell,
be in jail, too.
Quentin Simon, Leilani Simon, her other 2 living children, and their fathers. Judge Stokes said that she's going to look over those records and decide whether they'll be admissible in court. Now, there are no more hearings scheduled in this case at this time, but WTOC will keep a close eye on it and keep you updated as things progress. Live in Chatham County, Shay Schrader, WT News.
And here is a quick timeline of how we got to this point in the case. Quentin Simon went missing on October 5th. Over a week later, Chatham County police confirmed they believed he was dead. And on October 18th, the search for his remains moved to the Chatham County landfill nearly a week later.
Didn't she say Paul was the one who left the back door open between 2 and 4 a.m. or whatever it was, 2 and 5 a.m.? 2:36 or 2:37 or whatever it was.
I
Could've sworn
don't
she
know
said
if
somebody
they
left the door
said-
open.
Yes, yeah, they said somebody, but I'm not sure if they specifically named Paul.
Does Paul
But yes,
smoke? I wonder. Why would he go out between 2 and 5? You know, you have to wonder.
Yeah, the back door was
Whoever's
left
up,
open.
whoever's up between 2 and 5 is the one on drugs, right? Isn't that right, about right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, unless of course one of them was up with the baby. But
Like Danny
then
couldn't wake
again,
her
if
up.
you're-
Remember? Danny said, "I
that's
can't
what
wake
I'm
her
saying,
up."
yeah, but then again, if you're up with the baby, why are you outside? Or why
Why do you have the baby
back-
out around
Yeah.
a pool that doesn't have any safety net or anything around it? I mean, I thought
Yeah,
I thought he walked right into the water at first. I thought maybe there's a possibility that he wandered out, wanting to go swimming or go out and play with his balls or whatever, because he used to play ball out there. So like,
Right.
and him and his brother escaped down the street a few times, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
according to a couple of
No,
different
I didn't think he
neighbors,
drowned it
too.
either. I actually thought she was pissed off at him and she walked him over and threw him in there because he wouldn't stop screaming or crying. I really thought she walked in and threw him in the pool, stopped him crying or whatever. She made a bad decision and left him in there.
No.
Water was nasty too. You had to drain.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
thing.
we
yeah.
definitely thought that was a possibility early
Yeah.
on, but once all the other stuff actually came out, she beat him to death. is what
Yeah, but no, it
gathered
wasn't until the
from
very
that.
end that we knew that he was beat to
Yeah.
death. I actually thought that was the scenario because they found wet clothes of his in the neighbor's trash can, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they found his
Yeah,
his Sesame Street shirt and everything else that was he was wearing last, and it was all wet.
yeah, his shirt and his pants. Yes.
So that's when the bathtub theory came in with everybody when Billy Joe Howell was like bringing up the bathtub and like how like she's like my daughter, she doesn't make the best decisions, but like yeah, I think that my baby might have drowned while she was bathing him, right?
Yeah, that is one of the things she said was that she thought that she had put the two boys in the bathtub together and that Quentin got left in the tub too long. Yeah.
Do you think that was the creator in her ear trying to get her to screw things up for other people? I mean, because listen, we know what the behaviors were in other cases that we've dealt with,
Yeah.
and it seems like this is another. It came in perfect timing. Like I didn't trust anything once that duo teamed up. Right? I was
No.
just I was actually done with any hope
Yeah.
for those people. I was like, you have no hope left. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, to make it look like an accident, throw him in there. But he wouldn't stop crying. Just toss him in there. Right in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
pool. He wouldn't get it. It's 22 months old. He wouldn't have gotten out of there. He wouldn't have hurt him anymore either. He would have sunk right to the bottom. Especially if you just
Yeah.
tossed him in, right? Yeah. That's what I thought happened. I still kind of think something like that happened. Yeah,
It's
I'm not worried
possible. I
about
mean,
them.
it's
I'm not
still a
worried about anybody's.
possibility.
See, that's one thing we don't care about is money or other people's money here.
Nope.
Well, we care about money, but like we don't care about other people's money at all. I appreciate you saying all that stuff, but like, yeah, we don't. And if we could abbreviate anybody else's names that we use, because again, we're in our own lanes. We don't need to talk bad about these other people, but I could just kind of mention it because it is behavioral. It's a pattern of practice. That's all it is. I mean, from the Watts case to the Wells case to, well, anything there and after.
Yeah.
And if they could have got to Cash Gurn and everything else, they did also, right? They did.
Of course.
Yeah.
Quentin's bones were found there a month later. Simon's mother was arrested and charged with murder 2 days after that.
Is Jennifer Coffendoffer, a friend of mine, former FBI agent who's been following this case very, very closely. All right, Jennifer, let's start with this this new development today of what the public defender.
All right, Ensign, you look like you're going to court for the first time on a big charge, right? Like speeding ticket or something.
No.
You don't think you go? Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. That was just one of the things we talked about, you guys. Is this one of our theories? Was that the other one was
Yeah.
that they used to put like sleeping medication or medications in the bottles and make them go to sleep. Like that was another
Yes.
thing we thought, like an OD type of deal.
Right.
I
Yep,
think it's
that was
possible.
something else that was entirely possible.
We still don't know the cause of death, though. I mean, they're saying
No.
it's blunt force or beating, but like, how do we know that wasn't happening before? Like, I mean, right after he left the babysitters, that's when you start the timeline of him being abused, right?
Yes.
Me too. Because when she handed him off, he was fine, right? He's looking good.
Yeah.
He does. He looks good. I like Ryan Linton. He's not like WFLA, Jay Buno. And I'm wearing the same suit like Pee Wee Herman. I look just like this, and I talk this low.
Exactly.
Bunkers.
Exactly. I say things like bunkers.
Yeah, he'd say bunkers. Yeah. But he had a better record of saying Micah Kahatchee than I do, or Maya Kahatchee, whatever it is. I hate that name.
And his record for the number of times to say WFLA.
Right. WFLA Space, WFLA Eagle 8, WFLA Canada, WFLA. I can't even do it, but he's got 38 screens around him. That dude, he pushes some work.
This new development, public defender is getting. I saw you.
Four hairdos, including her tennis
I was
hairdo.
very surprised, and let me tell you why. She's a government counselor. I tell that the law enforcement officers that were investigating that case, the FBI agents, the state detectives, their salaries did not get doubled because they were working a quadruple.
$200 an hour for Cover. She's making bank. Like
Wow.
my attorneys out here are like $350 an hour, $400, depending on what you need. God, I hate attorneys.
Just imagine how much that's going to end up costing the state.
Us. No, it's we the people would pay for that. Our taxes go to this trial too, and all these. Think about it. It's not. We should have more say. To be honest, we should have more say on what they're doing and how they're doing it, but we don't. That's just facts.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
homicide. I've been trying to research. It's been a short period of time that I've known about this. I've never known of something like this to happen with a public defender to have their salary increased. Her previous salary was noted as $119,000 to $172,000, probably dependent on overtime figured into that. And now she could be making about $384,000, and that is without overtime. And her co-counsel making $180 an hour for 40 hours. So this is big, Brian. It's a lot of money, and I don't understand how they can do it.
Yeah, you make a point. I hadn't thought about that. That get paid more money, things like that. But I will say we have to remember this is a death penalty case. It takes a lot of expertise.
We don't even hold on. We don't even know.
A few friends.
Listen.
Yeah, we don't
even know if they're going to shoot for the death penalty. We got to wait till the prelim on the 28th of June. Like they have 60 days to file it from then, even from when he says guilty or not guilty. Like we don't even know if they're going to put it on the table then, do we?
No, we don't know that yet.
Because they're going to want him to talk, right? They're going to want him to talk. They're going to want some information, and I'm sure they're going to willing to throw the death penalty out, right? Just for like some answers, right? Because if they want motive, which they don't need motive to get a conviction, he could hold on to that, right? He could hold on to where the knife is and where all that stuff is, but they probably want to know, right? Yeah, and they're willing to drop that, and I'm willing to drop that too, and let him rot in prison the rest of his life for 600 years or whatever it is. That's fine with me too.
I mean, I'm pretty much confident they're going to go for the death penalty, but there's still a possibility that they could try to make some kind of deal with him to get that death penalty off the table. But we don't know for a fact if that's what they're going to do. I mean, right now, all pretty much what people are doing is just speculating on what they feel should happen. But
how long do you think this trial is going to take? If Murdoch's is taking like 3 weeks or whatever, it's a little over because they had the extra stuff going on. But like, what are you thinking? How long do you guesstimate? How long do you think this is going to be?
I'm saying once they actually get started with the trial itself, we're probably going to be about the same, probably around 3-4 weeks.
It can still play into here without people knowing, because they're like, you can't do the insanity plea, but like, yeah, it kind of has a weighing on. It has a bit of a weighing on their DP decision.
It does, and I mean, the mental health thing is going to come in as far as sentencing. That's it. It's not going to come in as far as any kind of evidence or anything like that during the trial.
No.
But once it goes to sentencing, that's why I'm curious to see. I know that his attorney requested him to
cat up.
have a mental health evaluation. I'm curious to see as to, has he had that done yet, and what, if anything, was said about it.
It was actually when he got back from Pennsylvania, didn't they say like they requested a mental health evaluation on him?
Yeah, they have. We know that they've requested one, but we have not
they
found out whether
probably
or not
had it already.
Yeah, whether they've done it or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get him there quickly. It's like he's like a priority. He really is. For once in his life, he's a priority.
Yeah.
And I think they should dip him in bacon grease before they let him back in the courtroom.
If he's already had a mental health evaluation, and then judging by the fact that he's still being held in jail versus being put into a inpatient mental health facility, that would mean that he passed his mental health evaluation, though.
Right. And I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they're having a conversation about what their strategy is. Like their strategy here is it going to be cutthroat? Oh God, can I say that? Oh my gosh, that's like the worst one I could have come up with, and I didn't even think about it. Oh Lord.
I know. I hate when it just kind of rolls off your tongue like that. Then you're just like, oh God, I can't believe I said that.
Yeah, well, there's a double-edged sword. Oh gosh, they did it again.
Oh, I think they're definitely their defense strategy is definitely going to be completely ruthless and just try to tear apart every piece of evidence they can.
Like, but it's not even a private attorney. Like I would expect like the private attorney to be like lower blowing than like her. I mean, she still has to work there, the public defender, like for them, and eat breakfast with them afterwards, and dinner, and pretend to hate them. Like, at some point, that I'd just like to hear what their strategy is, and who's giving. Like, is anybody talking to her? Maybe a mentor of hers helping her with this. Can she reach out to somebody for help? I think she can on her own time. She just can't talk too much about the case.
Well, I mean, she's got her co-counsel that's helping, so.
And he's pretty good, isn't he? I think it's a she, isn't it?
Honestly, I do not know.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if it was a she, because that made all women like around him, and he hates women. So this would be perfect. Yeah. I mean, this is it's kind of perfect if you want to kind of laugh about something. I mean, he to the judge, and she's blonde too, and she hates blondes. Like, this is like perfect.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. She wants a big name and start her own practice, probably, right? Yeah. That's what you do. You get a book written about you, and then you go and you open your own practice and you move on, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's definitely making the big money right now.
$380,000 as a public defender. A cop would love to make that, and they put their lives on the danger.
Yeah.
Right.
$200 an hour. That's huge for a public defender.
They were terribly surprised. They said they would have thought the number may have been close to $100 an hour, but certainly when you add it all up, and $384,000 a year, I think that came as a surprise to a lot of us. Okay, let's move on. Ashley Banfield has had a lot of exclusive reporting over the last week or so. Last night, really a big development with what she reported about the 911 call. She says that according to her sources, it was Ethan's best friend who made the call from Dylan's phone. You remember that was the morning after the murders. We didn't know who made.
So now they're getting into the pass out, right? The passed out person. Right? I'll back it up a couple seconds. They're getting into the passed out person where we all thought, well, why didn't the roommate call? Well, why didn't the roommate? We knew either Ethan's brother or Jack DeCoeur probably made the phone call, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so which means somebody would have to go inside, see the crime scene, and then start to pass out or get crazy because they didn't see anything yet from being downstairs. So like once they'd have to do the walkthrough, like that mean like the roommates went up there first, or one of the roommates, and then came down, and then one of the brothers went up, or family members, or whoever. Because there was a little group. I don't know who else was there, but there was a little group from the frat house. I bet they had the gag order. So
yeah, I know. According to, and again, I don't know this to be 100% fact. Allegedly, there was a friend of Dylan's that had posted over on Facebook that Dylan and Bethany both ran out of the house. They were out in the front yard, crying, screaming, hyperventilating, and that people from across the street at that frat house heard them and came running over to check on them. And that's how the people showed up. And that's whenever 911 got called.
Yeah,
and they didn't even know what was going on, just that they were freaking out in the front yard, and that either Dylan or Bethany, one was, passed out on the front lawn.
so if they were freaking out, and if they were freaking out at that time, that means that they were able to go upstairs earlier when nobody was there and not freak out. I'm not here to like. I'm just trying to see what like one thing I want to know about Dylan and Bethany is like, at what point did they actually go and see this aftermath?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if one didn't even go up, if Bethany didn't even go upstairs and she just had her little fridge down in her room and she didn't need the kitchen for anything to heat up anything, and she was able to make coffee downstairs even in her place, like, don't you think that like there's a good chance that she didn't go upstairs until after 1 o'clock or when the other roommate came and got her?
Well, I mean, maybe depending on what time Bethany got home, if she left at all that night before, or what was going on in her situation, maybe she didn't wake up until the afternoon. It's entirely possible if she had, because we don't know. Did she go out to a party somewhere? Was she out watching a movie?
What if she left? What if she left
or-
again? What if she left again and went out and hung out with some dude and then came back early in the morning and just went to her downstairs? But she wouldn't have seen anything. She would have gone straight through the front door and then into her bedroom. She didn't need to go upstairs.
Yeah,
She
that's
wouldn't
what
have saw
I'm
anything.
saying. Like we don't know what time, where she went during that whole night, or when she came home, or what happened there.
Right.
So it's entirely possible that maybe Dylan did not leave her room until Bethany got up at around noon. And then Bethany walks up and was like, seeing what's going on. And that's whenever, maybe she pulled Dylan out. Hey, we need to get out of here. So we
Right.
really don't know that.
It makes you wonder. Like, it doesn't make them more guilty to me at all. Like, I don't have guilt in my heart for them. Like, there's no
No.
guilt there. Like, I feel like really sad for them and their families, but like, I never saw them being guilty of it. And we never went that angle either. But like, I can tell you that, yeah, that if they heard like the screaming and things like that, and they came over in the morning, don't you think that like it would have been screamed louder at night? Like that it was quieter, like more echoey. Like, sure, there was some screams and yelling going on. Like, somebody didn't hear something then. Still, are you going to go with that?
See, I don't know, but if the video camera from next door picked up screaming and stuff, then it was loud enough, for people to notice that.
Was that screaming deemed to be true on the and the yelling and stuff? Was that deemed to be true? I thought that was deemed to be a prank or something.
Not the one that was released on YouTube. No, that to my knowledge was fake.
Yeah, that one. That's what I'm talking about. There's another one that you're talking about?
That was actually in the affidavit, was it not?
I can't remember. That's why I was going to go over the
remember
affidavit
correctly.
another night again. But it's really, I want to go over the other paperwork we have for the Petitos and stuff. But like, I think we went over that before the paperwork, but I don't remember if it's in there or not. I'm sure somebody will tell us. It's all good. I want to do a poll though. I want to think if, anyone.
But I mean, obviously, if one or more of them are fighting back, there's going to be, screams, and there's going to be noise.
All right, to pass out. You might not even have an answer. I don't know. It's an option here. Right. Like, I passed out before. I made it like one step, and then I went.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I passed out.
Yeah.
Straight up like a cow tip.
Right.
Yeah, like somebody pushed me over. I just,
Yep. Been there, done that.
yeah, I know, right? Oh, you have. Yeah, that's what. Like I would. If you've ever passed out, like like some of us get a nauseous feeling, and some of us will go to throw up first, like or do all the same at the same time while passing out. Like I don't know. Like I've done probably everything while passing out that way.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that like they didn't go all the way upstairs to see Kaylee and Maddie, but they stopped at Ethan and Xana. But like they went upstairs and saw the other two. Like I'd have been passed out in between the top and the bottom stairs. If I pass out, like
Yeah.
that way. Usually it's only blood that makes me pass out, and it's my own. It's weird. Like if I'm getting blood taken, if I stare at it, like I'll
Right.
pass out. Like I'll
See, I'm exactly the opposite. If I cannot watch them drawing blood, giving me a shot or whatever, that's whenever it makes me sick.
Does it? I was trying to. I don't know. Does it ask two different questions? Would you pass out upstairs near what you saw, or go downstairs to pass out? No. If you saw the bodies, I'm talking about. They have to go upstairs, right? From the first story to go upstairs because there's
Yeah.
nobody killed. Yeah, it starts on the second floor. So would you go?
Bethany would have to go upstairs. Yes.
Yeah. Would you be the type of person if you passed out before? If you know, like, do you pass out fast? I don't know. I can't really remember. I could have sworn to take like 2 steps and I just down like a ton of bricks.
It's not really two different questions. I think it's just the yes or no is what's confusing people.
Well, the first one I put, it was too brutal. I couldn't even do that question. Like I wanted to do like this a different way, and this is like the best way I could figure out a way to do this.
Right.
If you're undecided, just throw the question mark up there.
Exactly. I mean, would you pass out upstairs near what you saw? Yes or no? I mean, that's
Yeah, I thought it was quick. I mean, I've had people we saw that person pass out on fentanyl, even, right? Remember how quick that was? Like,
yeah.
like, I mean, different pass outs, I guess, would have to do with different scenarios of what you're passing out from. But like to see something like that horrific, like it's usually like a throw up kind of thing first, and then you gotta like kind of get dizzy and like. I mean, I didn't throw up or get dizzy when I saw the 2 people dead that were shot right next to me, and one ended up still on. I had stuff all over me. Yeah, it was like. I didn't cry. I was still trying to save the dude's life, even though he tried to kill us. Like it was the weirdest thing. So,
Right.
yeah, but I didn't pass out that time either, though. It was something else I passed out on. You know, it was a totally different scenario, but it was quick. It had to do with my own blood, like literally. Done. All right, cool. If the poll doesn't make sense, don't answer it. It's all good.
That was the morning after the murders. We didn't know it was his best friend. That's important. And how do you think that
This is where the sources come into play here,
Jennifer?
Well, of course, this was information that was kind of dribbling through social media very early on. And now we have a source also reporting it. You know, it's going to be important, Brian, to know who all was there. Law enforcement obviously already does know. But all these details are going to become
that's not necessarily true either, because there could have been people that didn't want to be involved in this in the morning when they were over there supporting their friends from maybe the frat house, or maybe a neighbor or something. Like could be more people than meets the eye. I mean, if they didn't wake up until 1, do they never have people come in to see what they're doing? If it's a party house, doesn't somebody cruise over and see if you're making hot dogs or something?
I don't know. I mean, maybe with everybody else being at that frat party the night before and everybody else was, up till all hours of the morning, maybe it was just the whole entire block was sleeping in. Who knows?
And nobody didn't get up till 1. Like they ate at 4 o'clock. Food came in at 4. So like they weren't eating, but like if anybody was at that house, they would have been fed, or at least had a chance to eat, had something. Again, that wasn't even, it's not even a guarantee. I don't even know how fast that Jack in the Box bag could have had the food in it still. So it's 4 o'clock to 4:04 when he gets in there. You don't really have that much time to eat that food, do you?
No.
Hey, Debbie. Yeah, it makes you wonder.
It could have been entirely possible. Maybe they just opened the door for the DoorDash person, set it right there on the counter, and I
Why
don't
would you
know.
order it? Why would you order it not if you're not going to eat it right away? Usually, if you're ordering at 4 a.m, it's because you're like either totally hungover or you're just totally hungry.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
The bag doesn't look even open. It has the receipt still stapled to the top, right? We saw the white receipt.
yeah,
Yeah. Everybody does react differently. It's
It
probably
definitely
it's probably a really
didn't.
bad question. I should take it down, actually.
Definitely didn't give them very much time to eat at all.
I'll ask this one instead. It didn't give him any time to eat. Matter of fact, the guy gets there at 4 o'clock to drop the DoorDash off. He probably gets the DoorDash to them by 4:02. They really didn't have any time to go up the stairs and take out the food at all, right?
No.
At all.
That's why I couldn't really understand how was Koberger able to get in through that second story, the sliding door there, and get up the stairs without Ethan or Xana seeing him come in. If they get the food at 4 o'clock, set it on the kitchen counter, or what did they do? Set it on the kitchen counter, go back to their room and shut the door?
You'd have to wonder if he went in like before the 4:04 mark. Like, was he already in there? Like, we can't confirm or deny whether he was inside the house or not.
Well, I mean, according to the timeline from the affidavit, he didn't park the car until 4:04.
Right. Well, then he couldn't have been in there at the time they were walking up with the food then.
If 4 a.m. is correct for when the DoorDash got there.
Right. But he also could have walked in like right after that. I mean, they could have been still like just walked in the bedroom first. And then I'm surprised that food was in the kitchen though. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't, there's no motion lights around that house either. No motion lights at all. None.
Obviously not.
Jesus. All girls living there. Damn, motion light should have been there. Also,
mean,
maybe a
that's-
gate, maybe a little fence in the back. It would cost nothing, like really little, like just to fence that back area in so nobody could go back there unless you had a gate key or something. Huh. I don't know when he got in there. I don't know exactly if they're right. I mean, could they be wrong when he got in there?
I don't know. I mean,
They didn't tell us the truth. Anything else in the case? Like, why would they tell us the truth about the time?
maybe the time for the DoorDash is off. Maybe it wasn't 4 a.m.
Yeah, who can confirm it? Has anybody confirmed it? I haven't heard
No.
the DoorDash person come by and say like, yeah, I was the one who dropped the food off. That's really weird too. Like, not to feel like, because you would know if you dropped the food off to that place.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, dude, I just dropped food off there. Now everyone's dead.
Maybe it was,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Maybe they got food before 4 a.m. Because if they got back over to the house at 1:45 in the morning, why are you going to hang out until 4 and then decide, oh, by the way, we're hungry now. Let's order some food.
See, that was a big discrepancy. Was he hiding in the house first? And like, I didn't think he ever was. I thought it was just like he saw like all the last light go off in the house, and he's like, okay, now's my chance. I'm gonna go in now. And I kind of think that's how that happened. He was watching from a distance, and then he was able to get in that way. But
Right,
again, there's so much noise and it was so loud that Bethany should have some testimony about what's happened. I'd say that she knows something.
You would think she would have been able to hear something, which, I mean, I know we had the one former person that lived there that said, oh, if you're on the first floor, you're not hearing anything. But in a normal situation, maybe not. Normal walking around upstairs, maybe you wouldn't hear it.
For Dylan to get pissed, it was loud.
That's what I'm saying. Something like this, I think everybody in that house would definitely have heard.
Ethan and Xana definitely were just collateral damage in my eyes. What about you? You still on that one?
Yep, that's what I think.
You guys put a 1 in the chat if you think Ethan and Xana were collateral. 2 if you think they were the targets, but 3 if you're undecided.
I think they heard. I think they heard what was going on upstairs. They opened the door, and by that time, there he was.
You're right. Us fat people do know about food. Don't screw with us.
Exactly.
I was so chubby as a kid. I used to yell profanities at nighttime just so I could get soap in my mouth because I was hungry and I couldn't get any more food. I was like, "Can you get the new Dove bar? The new Dove bar, please." But Irish Spring is good too. If you could grab that, I'm hungry. fat kid cussing just to get soap. Whatever.
That's bad.
Judge me if you want.
Right. It's okay. I used to hold my brother down and make him eat soap, so it's okay.
You think the DoorDash was about drugs, but they brought food. Tuesday Child, they brought food, right?
I don't think DoorDash will bring you drugs. I mean,
Ubers will. If you want to just throw like a little bag in the back of an Uber and you're like, hey, just go deliver to the address that I asked you to. Please, it's not me, Joe. I don't want to go. Don't open it. Leave it in the back seat. Buckle it up.
exactly.
Don't touch him. He's fine. He's got a GoPro on too. He'd make sure you don't touch him.
You'll be okay.
GoPro. That'd be awesome. Send it back a package with a GoPro on it. No, I got eyes on it. Don't worry.
That would be weird.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you guys for that.
To the timeline, and also was in that scene right after the murders were committed and before law enforcement was there.
That was my next question. Baby
Yeah,
girl.
and we've got the gag order now, which explains why a lot of people are not talking, but it also sort of makes why so many of these people involved weren't talking even before the gag order. We didn't realize at the time, but a lot of them apparently are.
Yes, Vanderloo, bathroom on each floor.
Absolutely. They're witnesses, and they're important witnesses. And it's important that they're not out in the public talking. It can really taint their testimony later on if they even make one statement that doesn't.
So you hear her saying this? Thank you, Coffin. I stopped you in a really bad spot. Anyway, I agree with her here. Like, yeah, it would have screwed up with the talking. But what did Gonzalez want? Steve Gonzalez. He wanted that attorney who allegedly somebody said he got fired. I don't know if that's a fact or not. I haven't seen it in any articles or anything yet. The Shannon Gray wanted to get well, he was on the media side, like 33 media reporters as well, right? Trying to get that. Yeah, it was going to screw up the case. So is this one of the sources Steve Gonzalez? I don't know who the sources are. I'm trying to figure this out.
I don't know.
Like, he's the only one that really wants to talk out of any of the families. And really, I do believe Kaylee and Maddie were they both could have been the target. Just for the mere fact that he did it when she came back for only one day. Like, unless he saw that's why I think he saw something on social media and he made his move. Like, that's why he was sloppy. He was kind of like a last minute decision, but he knew he was ready. Is a good chance. If it wasn't just Maddie, and I would say it would be Maddie and Kaylee. But if I really had to ultimately choose, if I sat back and like I did just watch this as a spectator, I would have just thought Maddie at the end was just the target. And I still think
that's
Kaylee.
That's entirely possible too, but it could just be that it just happened to be on this night. He decided, okay, I've planned this for long enough and I'm going to go for it. And Kaylee just happened to be there. Because, I mean, we all know that everywhere Kaylee went, Maddie was, I'm saying, that they were always right there together anyway. So it could just be an unfortunate circumstance that she just happened to be there. Well,
yeah, I mean, you could go either way with it. You got to keep both of them alive for the reason of speculation, right? Like, you have to leave it open because we don't know.
No.
And again, we may never know the motive either. Just if he doesn't talk, we don't have to have the motive.
With that seemed and a prosecution's nightmare.
So when we had the affidavit, Jennifer, there was the line about Dylan being frozen in fear. That, when all of this was happening, she saw a man walk by in a mask and was frozen in fear. And there was a lot of confusion about what took so long, 911 call. But when you piece together some of Ashley's reporting, her report now indicating that Dylan didn't necessarily know that something going on upstairs, that there were just noises, that it was
See, that's what I wanted to talk about too, is that when Dylan did this, the first time, it sounds like when you read that affidavit, if you don't read it with punctuation properly, it sounds like she opened the door 3 times fast, like this, right?
Yeah.
Imagine this. What's going on out there? Like, I am with the dog, right? Like, look out and take a couple minutes. What is that? A couple seconds later, one more time. Hey, can you guys keep it down? Like, it sounds like that she was like getting progressively more upset. Like, when you're kind of been drinking or you've been up past 3 a.m. You're like, I just want to sleep. Can you shut the F up? Right. So you're like
Yeah.
trying to get them to be quiet, and then you don't want to. She's the youngest one there too. So like, how did she feel? Like, did she feel like she had any kind of say? Like some people don't feel like they have say if you have the seniorities there. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A frat house or a sorority house. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see her, you know what I'm saying, getting irritated with the noise.
But I can tell you, they all loved each other as friends for sure. None of them would let this happen to each other. Like, this is where I was so appalled with people thinking like, yeah, she just stayed there for 8 hours and didn't do anything. Well, she didn't call her parents either, right? Like, if she was really like stressed out, she would have called somebody. Especially if she called somebody. Tell me, get over here fast. I need your help. Right?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't though. She didn't really, as far as we know, she didn't.
They only
She
called
didn't
within the
contact
house to people,
anybody.
right? Didn't they contact within the house to people on phones or something like that, or through speakers or something? They want to bring in this Bluetooth speaker, and I don't think that had anything to do with this, you guys, at all.
No, I don't think the whole Bluetooth speaker thing did have anything to do with anything.
Throw that on when you're in the shower, don't you? Or like, girls are just chilling upstairs, just two of you. Yeah, there's no like.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I remember, they said that it was in the bathroom upstairs.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. But I mean, do we know for a fact that that Dylan did make phone calls to people in the house? Where did we get that information from? Wasn't that just a
News Nation? I
wasn't that? Well, yeah, it was just a news source that said that.
There was, I think it was this guy right here too, Enton. Was talking about.
Oh,
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if Enton said it,
He was not involved at all. None of them are involved. No, they all mimicked each other. They all played around. Did you watch their TikToks or anything? To me, it told a different story.
Yeah, I did. I've watched.
Yeah, they loved each other. They made fun of each other. They were able to laugh at each other. There's no animosity there. Sometimes they just went and did their own things, which is normal. Normal for college people to do their own things too. Like if they live in a house, they don't have to always be going with their friends out. Like, but I just want to know, did Bethany ever leave that night? Like again?
Yeah, see, that's what we haven't heard anything about. What is her timeline for the night? Or we really don't even know Dylan's timeline for the night.
No, we don't. We don't know anything they did before that home. And we thought she got home at 1 o'clock too. And did she? Who did she come home with?
See, we don't know any of that.
Yeah, we don't have a clue.
No.
Again, it could be her story, right? It's up to you guys to choose, but it's not. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to wait till these victims have been cleared before I deal or talk or try to make sense of it, right? I'm not going to even.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't make sense of it.
Party house. It may have been something else going. She didn't initially call, and then now we know it was to make the call and cover.
Why not Ethan?
Does it make sense to you?
So Ethan's brother was there, and his best friend, or was it just Ethan's best friend? Because his brother he lives in the same fraternity right there. Like, why wouldn't he be in there in the morning?
Yeah, his
especially
brother
if this happened.
was
like nobody
there.
called him. Oh, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
So was he there when he over there when that passed out?
Well, that's what we were told early on, but I don't. Again, we don't know that 100% to be a fact. It's just what people had said early on was that, Ethan's brother was one of the first people that showed up over there.
Was Ashley that said it? Well, I knew it came from Banfield. I mean, this is her channel, Banfield, right here. So I'm pretty sure that it came from one of the two, either him or her.
Well, the Federal case, what we have in the public as far as fact is that probable cause affidavit. That's the cornerstone of the case as we know it right now factually. If you look at that, there were 3 different times and so these statements that are being made by the source certainly make sense with her first time she opened the door, where she talks about hearing possibly Kaylee playing.
Who's that damn source?
And
so confused.
Possibly there could be more that was stated. Remember, Brian, in these interviews and the interview of Dylan Mortensen, it is going to be pages long, hours long of recorded in time. So the PCA just has a small snippet of what was said. So I think both statements can be true, but the bottom line is I do believe she was terrified when she saw that figure in her doorway.
32
Good.
million. Number of small businesses in the
I'm just gonna
U.S.
change it over. I'm just gonna change it over so I don't make that face ever again. I just totally rolled my eyes at myself. Oh, wait, I'm on premium. I'm on my premium account. What is going on here? Did I lose my premium too? I shouldn't.
According to the SBA.
Whatever.
And out of all of those companies,
We're just gonna watch my commercial. I'm gonna make no money off it, but we'll watch it.
1 million in revenue.
All right, let's go back to this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good point. She opened the door several different times and may have had a different reaction each time. Thanks so much for coming. It's always good.
We've known a lot of things, not everything. But the probable cause affidavit, some of the police reporting, the news conferences has given us a small picture. But what we haven't known is what happened prior to the first responders arriving on the scene. And tonight I can tell you. You have heard that the 911 call was made from a surviving roommate's cell phone. But we can now tell you who it was who made that call. I'm not going to name the person, but it was Ethan's best friend who made the 911 call. And that's because it was Ethan's best friend who made the discovery of Xana and Ethan's bodies. And that is a very tragic and sad detail.
So we got one person that's gone upstairs.
Up until now, it had been an assumption that there was maybe an unconscious person because it was a guess that there was someone behind the door who wasn't answering a bedroom door. Now we can tell you that it was Ethan's best friend who had been called.
I really want to know how you know this, because you're gonna tell me that, like, you're gonna have to just believe what they say. I don't know if I like this theory.
Over that morning and made this great.
Nobody else went upstairs. My ass.
Also called out to get 911 on the phone. It is more than likely to call 911 was surviving roommate Dylan Mortenson's cell phone. You have probably heard up until now that it was an unconscious that the dispatch said over the radio, but that's not unusual because when there's confusion, it's standard protocol according to an article that came out recently in Airmail. Protocol, if there's confusion, just to skip the necessities.
Did you see how close that gray house is to that house? See how close that gray house is? You're going to tell me nobody heard Brian Koberger walk in or out of the house or run out of the house, or none of the screaming? Like, I'm so... Like their smoking gun has to be like some other testimony coming out of the dark, like somebody else coming out. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to play Chef Dizzy out of everyone because he
allegedly that house is where that video camera audio comes from.
So you're telling me that audio is gonna pick up all the way at that house?
That's what they're saying. That's where that audio came from, and that's why on the Google Earth and Google Maps, they blurred that house out as well as the actual crime scene house.
Okay. I mean, it could be that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If noise and stuff was loud enough for it to be picked up on a Ring doorbell cam from that house next door, then everybody in that house had to have heard what was going on. There's no way they did.
Unless they have earplugs in. But we have a testimony from one of the neighbors that said this, right? It was unusually quiet that night.
Yeah.
I didn't even sleep with my earplugs in. I think those are her words verbatim, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird too.
Yeah, it's the first time in a long time that I didn't even have to sleep with earplugs in. It's the calmest it's ever been. Like, what? Are you in on this? Now I'm starting to think like that person must be in on this.
I guess it would depend on where exactly that neighbor's house is. I mean, if they're a distant neighbor, some distance down the street, then maybe they didn't hear anything.
No, I mean, no, you wouldn't be hearing it down the street.
Yeah.
I mean, Chef Dizzy's the only one that said like around 4 a.m. he heard a scream and a dog barking. Like, that's so close to this case. Like, he wasn't even wrong at this point. He's the only one that's been totally right.
No, that's and really feel bad about that because
I don't. I mean, he twirls
everybody
sticks.
was,
He twirls sticks in a vaulted ceiling house, and he wants to go to spring break and he's 40 or something like that. Like, why would you go to spring break?
yeah, I mean, that
He's
is
living
weird.
in college
but I mean,
apartments and stuff, so he could juggle sticks. Like, that's even weirder. Just
but I
saying.
mean, still, I mean, the fact that, like, I totally thought he was just trying to insert himself just because he was weird and liked the attention. And maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was telling the truth.
This is why
There's a lot of people that, that attacked him over that.
Yeah, we always vet our information though. Like, that's one thing. Like, unless it comes on like on air while we're doing it and someone gives it to us, like we typically
Right.
don't even release that either one of us. Like, unless it can make sense or if it's provable right there, we'll release it. But yeah, I still think there's a lot of holes in this case. I mean, Koberger definitely could get a hung jury on this. Yeah, he's got a great chance for a hung jury, I'm going to say. They arrested him way too quick for my likings. Like, I think they knew where he was at. They should have watched him for another day in Pennsylvania, and then made the arrest or a day or two. Like they really started their time clock really quick on this case. They only have one chance, right? Like if they can't get him convicted, he gets to go free forever on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no double jeopardy.
Yeah,
That's
I can
first
see a lot of stuff that the defense is going to be able to kind of pick apart right here.
Right.
An unconscious regardless of what the situation is. So for
why would anybody lie and put it in an
caught
affidavit
up on a person,
first?
probably not a good idea, given the fact that that's just sort of a standard description for get moving. We need people on the location. Again, this is multiple sources tonight with knowledge of the investigation.
Who's the source?
Telling us about who made the
like Gonzalez, I can figure out one of the sources. It's Steve Gonzalez, right? Because he's not bound to anything, and he pretty much said he was going to talk no matter what. He did say that.
I'm at this point with
he's one of the sources.
At this point, with the detail of the information, if we're to believe that it's all factual, then I think it has to be somebody that is close to these victims. Like
You'd
it
have
has
to hope
be
because
a
this could really
family-
make or break a case.
Yeah.
It should be dangerous
That
to a case
source
right
has,
now.
that source most likely, I would think, is a family member of one of the victims to even know this information.
That's why I'm thinking Steve Gonzalez has to be one of them.
I think that's entirely possible. As much as
Yeah.
he wants,
He talked about Kaylee's Bluetooth speaker too, right?
Yeah, as much as he wants to talk, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, no, his attorney said that they were going to talk right before he got let go, if he got let go or not. But like that morning that he had court, like, yeah, he knew he wasn't. Yeah, he knew he was going to lose that. Yeah. He was actually, I think, I heard something about him that day. Anyway, anyhow, this is I think there's enough holes in this case that unless they have a smoking gun, I mean, that defense attorney is going to try to win.
Discovery of Ethan's body and then of course of Dana's body. What I can't tell, I'm not sure if it was any of the other kids who were called over. Interesting about this whole scenario that played out more was kids came over to the home and then 911 was called. So who knows if there was any knowledge of the carnage that had taken place in that home before the kids came over. I mean, it's college, right? It's Sunday morning after a fun Saturday night. And maybe, just maybe, kids were coming over to, some kids who are unidentified at this time went over to the house that morning, and it was Ethan's best friend who made that discovery and took Ethan's pulse and yelled for them to call 911 and ultimately got on the phone on Dylan Mortensen's phone and talked to the 911 operators. I want to bring in News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Enton. Brian has been at the forefront of reporting this story. It's such an uncomfortable detail, but it is one piece of the puzzle that we've been trying to figure out in terms of why it's so complicated, that scene the morning of the murders.
Yeah, so much of this has been confusing based on the reports we've gotten from police. There have been so many holes and things that they haven't shared. Beginning with your exclusive reporting last week, things started to make a little bit more sense in terms of surviving roommate Dylan and the fact that she may have thought that there were noises coming from upstairs, but not necessarily noises that meant that something bad was happening or that a murder was happening. That started to explain why she may have not initially called 911, in the middle of the night. Your exclusive reporting sort of shed light on. Now I think this sort of continues to, again, pieces together. Now that people came to the house that, and it would make sense. What you said about the unconscious person, that may have just been a categorization the 911 call was put under, but certainly tragic, as you said, to think that Ethan's best friend, took the pulse. I mean.
So here's the deal. I don't see how it came out. It's clearly.
Hold your horses. This is actually getting into the Gabby Petito case right here. So let's finish up with Idaho 4 real quick.
All right.
All right, let's do a little closing on the Idaho 4 here. We'll leave it right here. So at this point, well, do you guys think it's going to be a hung jury? Do you think he can win?
think it's possibility.
So far, you guys think 29% of you say yes. Well, 28 now, 27, 28. 72% says no. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Not that that's going to be the final answer for them, but like I'm just saying, like for you guys to think that way, that helps me out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping they have a lot more evidence than what we have already heard and seen.
Right.
Which I'm sure they do. They have to. There's no way, just based on what little bit of evidence we've been able to see, that they're gonna, go into this with a full-blown trial. I don't think so. I think there's a lot more that they haven't told us. But I also think there's a good possibility that the defense is going to be able to tear a lot of it apart too.
Yeah. Well, they're going to tear it up, but then you got the criminal mind too. That's his criminal mind doing this, but he's also got that attorney type mind too, and the criminologist type of mind, right? Like, so it's kind of dangerous, especially if he already had a scenario in his head of what he wanted to go with. Because at first he wanted to be like, first he I don't know if I want to say that. We'll wait on that one. Let's. I feel that he wanted to be exonerated so bad, and I don't think he was lying. I don't think he was just wanting to get back to see the arrest affidavit. I think he feels like he could actually win. Like, that's how I feel. That he's sick. He feels he can actually win. Like he really thinks that he's going to win. Not feels. He thinks he's going to win.
That pretty much just seems like, from all his past behaviors that we've learned about, that he is just an extreme narcissist, and he thinks everything's always going to go his way, and he's always correct. So that's just probably part of that narcissistic personality.
If he's watched enough cases and trials, like, he'll know how to get a hung jury. Like, he's a very strategic, like he knew how he knew how he needed to start this back with the visual snow stuff, right? Like I have short-term memory loss. I don't see through people. I don't know how to love, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, but how much do you think he's actually, I mean, his input?
He thought about this early on. That's when he started his training for this journey, right? It was back then, after the visual snow wore off. Yeah, he started his journey in school and studies, and he was starting to get he was interested in something for some reason. This wasn't to be a lifelong journey for him. Like, he thought he's probably going to die like a lot earlier than he should, just because he's going to be doing a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He better run if he gets off, right? A lot of people are going to go after him. Yeah, for sure. He can't go back to anywhere in Pullman. Where would he go? He needs to go home with mommy and daddy, if anything. And I don't know if they'll take him back at this time, because their house got raided with him in it for murder.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for murder. They still support him.
Given his criminology background and all that, how much do you think he's actually going to try to insert what he wants done into his defense? You know what I'm saying?
Probably he's probably not told not to talk to her while they're inside the court. But I'm sure they've had some lengthy conversations.
That's what I wonder is how much he's going to try to, push his own, kind of agenda type thing with his own attorney.
He'll push as long as he can.
Yeah.
As long as he can. And then he'll try to misdirect you as much as he can too. So you're looking over there when all this stuff's happening over here. That's just the way he is. He's that thief. He'll steal your stuff and help you look for it. That's the kind of drug addict he was probably too.
Yeah. I can imagine, as horrible as he is toward women, is the way he, from everybody else's standpoint, saying like he talks down to women and all this stuff.
Totally
Can
does.
can you imagine that conversations between him and his attorney?
Well, if he's not saying "f you" at the same time, then there will be a conversation between him and his attorney. He seems like he gets along well with her. That's why I was like, does he really hate blondes? Does he really hate women, or is he just weird?
That's what confuses me. That's what confuses me, is like, how is there not any kind of conflict whatsoever between him and this attorney, given the fact that he seems to have problems with all women? Or maybe
Seems like
just
maybe it
haven't
just
given
seems like
him
the ones that he's interested in. Like it seems like possibly, like
possibly, or
if he's-
maybe at
or
this point
they
has
made
to-
themselves their interest. Like something happened to trigger him, right? Like a rejection at a party, because we know that they were over at Pullman for parties, right? Maddie and Kaylee before. So it's a good chance they met at a party there. And someone even brought up, and I'm not going to get into it, but like they said, like there was something going on further between Kaylee and Brian, and they actually went on a date. I never found anything that would to make that truthful. Somebody had been saying that on a bigger channel, or at least they get more people watching, kind of thing. But like they were saying that. So you'd have to wonder. But I think that again, June 28th isn't something that's too long for me to wait for.
No.
No, I don't want to hear anything until then.
No.
I don't want them to come out and say anything. As a matter of fact, I wish all this stuff would stop right now. I wish they would just stop bringing out anything. There's nothing there's nothing we can do to make this any different. This is them being mad that they got gag orders. This is them being mad that they got gagged. Yeah, hell yeah, it is. The 30 of the newscasters are like, yeah, there was no money this month, son of a gun. Hope someone gets hurt soon. It's
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
weird how they have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever they could just move on to somebody else's case that actually needs a voice right now, because
there's too many people, too many eyes on this thing right now.
Well, of course there is, because everybody, wants to know every little detail that can possibly come out.
People are getting
but,
record numbers right now. I don't want to be a part of that. That's why I don't promote it every day like the way I want. I don't want the record numbers for no reason at all. Especially like it would turn me off to this case, because there's nothing else that could be said except harmful stuff.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, like it's gonna harm the case. So, my prayers go out to the families and then the friends and everyone in school, even the people at school that work there. I hope another tragedy like this doesn't happen there. But we didn't they just have a shooting at WSU or something? Like somebody just died again. Like they've had some weird stuff going on. Okay, so before we move on, let me go into one thing. So the night before that he's going to do this, right? There was a big accident out in front of his apartment, Brian Koberger's apartment. The cops are all there, all night long, all through the early morning.
Yep, they were.
And he drives his happy ass right out of that driveway watching over those cameras. Did he think that he could get away with, like, they're that stupid he could get away with it, or they were that busy that now's a good chance to do it? Because there's different reasons and different timings that he could have chose to do it that night instead of a couple days ago or a couple days later.
Right.
So what triggered it? Was it like, again, Kaylee being there? This is where you have to think, like, who is, if they're saying that the girls are either a target or the house is a target. Well, which one is it? Michigan University. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, see, I don't know there. Honestly, I think it was whichever ones he was following on social media. I think he was targeting them in particular.
So if he knew one social media like Instagram or something, I think that was the one he was trying to get a hold of him on.
Yeah.
What if he was like watching Facebook too? Like they don't mention anything about that. Was he watching a different form of social media to find out what they're doing? Because they're girls. They probably social media more than one, just YouTube or Facebook or whatever, right? And they're like TikToks and all those other things.
I mean, they had Instagram, TikTok. I'm sure they had
Twitter.
all.
Everybody's twatting nowadays, right?
I'm sure.
Even Trump, he's back to twatting or twitting or whatever you call it.
Something like
whatever
that.
you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to. Yeah, whatever you want. So like there, and then another guy, kills himself, I believe, overdoses.
Are you talking about the whole shooting incident that Koberger was talking about when he got pulled over in Indiana?
No, I'm talking about since this has been like dark ever since like this happened. Like things,
Yes,
people have been dying since. We've had like 2
there
deaths.
was there was a student at Washington University, Pullman, that did die, but I don't know the cause of death.
Overdose, I believe.
Was it? Okay, I didn't.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was an overdose. But there was also, I think someone was taken hostage. Like there was like attempted kidnapping or something.
I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's 3 incidents, but the one the night before is what gets me. Like that's really challenging the cops right there. Like to be able to walk out there, walk past them, and then drive out at 2 a.m. in the morning. And he's sober at that point then, because he's not drunk or anything, because he wouldn't.
No.
He gets pulled over all the time. It'd be stupid for him to do that. So yeah, there's some weird stuff that goes on at Pullman since this happened. But again, I don't think he had any help. I don't think he has Murphy's hair as any kind of.
No.
I don't think he's there. I don't think anything's going to come back that belongs to that house in his on the search affidavit that they picked up, whatever they picked up. I don't think they're going to come back with anything that's damning to him, except maybe the digital evidence. I'm just talking about physical evidence when I say that, because I don't think he would take just one hair with him if he left. Like that's just impossible to catch one hair on you.
Yeah, to me that doesn't make any sense. I think if anything, it's going to be the stuff off his computers, his phone, the TV, that kind of stuff that they're going to get information out of more than anything.
What if he wrote a diary? That'd be good to have. Like some people do that.
Well, I mean, we've seen the way he was making all those posts over on that one forum thing about all this, visual snow stuff. So,
well, Brian Laundrie wrote in a notebook right before too, right?
Yeah.
Now Leilani's got notebooks coming in, and they're you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this next? Is this next?
I don't know. It's a possibility.
He could have told on himself a way easier way, right? They might be looking for the knife, but they might find a piece of paper that says, "Yeah, I can't believe I did it finally," or something like that, right? Like that is just a smoking gun. Like it's a possibility.
It's possible.
Thank you, Mr. Enton.
And so Paul's.
I don't see how it can't come out, right? I don't see how. I mean, this is a civil lawsuit based on a theory of intentional infliction of emotional distress. The family of Brian Laundrie.
Hold on. His damn mom said, "Hey, can I help you bury the body or bury a body?"
Yeah.
Like there's talk that Roberta.
And she actually wrote it in a note to him.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something
so who
about
gave him the gun too? Who gave him
a shovel? Yeah.
Who gave him the gun? Because his dad thought it was stolen right at first, right? He's like, I don't know, it's gone. Like you didn't know Brian took it, and how did Brian have a key to like where he keeps all the guns, like his dad? See, I don't think he did. His dad had to have given him the gun, or somebody must have unlocked it for him, because I don't think he had the key.
I would probably go more towards his mother. He seems more like closer to his mother, more like a mama's boy.
So is this going to be Chris Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie? Like, is this their final demise too with their family? Like, are they done now? Are they going to break up, do you think?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never really thought about that.
Well, you can't just really take a side. Like if he finds out that she did something, if he finds out she did something, like, would he leave? I don't know. Mommy told him to burn the letter after reading it. Yeah, she did write that in the letter, didn't she?
Yep, yeah, she did.
Let's listen to this and find out what else they have to say. I have the whole. I have the whole lawsuit. I'll probably hold on. Hold on, stop. I'll probably hold on to that to read for another time, since we're 2 hours in. We'll watch the rest of this, and then we'll get ready and break for a little bit, and then go over to Crime and Justices. And we got like 3 other shows to do today. So we'll come back to this again when there's more to talk about. But the Gabby Petito thing, I do want to talk about another time. I'm talking more the Idaho 4. Like, we're not going to be, you won't see that every day from us. So, yeah. If this is too triggerful, you can go ahead and just mute yourself for now if you can't hear it or you don't want to hear it, Teresa. I apologize. I don't know what's coming up yet. I haven't watched this yet.
Gabby's parents to the point of putting out a press release saying we hope the service became successful. And this is very relevant to that because this would show that, yeah, she knew that Brian had killed Gabby and that she was sort of coaching him perhaps on disposing the body. So yeah, it's definitely relevant. And if the Laundrie family wants to say, well, this had nothing to do with the actual murder, this was written months or weeks before, well, then let a judge and a jury sort it out. But to suppress that letter as irrelevant, I don't see how they can do that.
It's definitely relevant.
Yeah, and our understanding, Dave, that there's no date on the letter. So how exactly could they really prove when it was written? I mean, couldn't the Laundries just say no with anything? I mean, how would they prove it in the end if there's no date?
Well, that's what the hearing would be for. A judge would have to question the parties, would review it, and you look at all the different things to see, for example, Gabby's name is in the letter. The fact that the letter was in Brian's possession when he died to a letter that was written months before that had nothing to do with this matter. I think that the...
Well, I mean, couldn't you have something in a notebook for a long time? Like, didn't that would you don't rip out every page. I never ripped out every page. I would just actually go to the last page that I wrote on and just go to the next one. Like,
Right.
You could have something in a notebook from a year ago that actually probably says something like that. It wouldn't be too weird to me, but it could be weird in this case. What about you guys out there? Yeah, she was so preventable.
If Roberta did write this letter to him and she puts on the envelope burn after reading, then she's probably not going to put a date on it because then that would tie it back. You know what I'm saying? That would be one more
she
piece
probably didn't
to tie
sign
it
her
back.
name either. She probably didn't sign her
Yeah.
name to it either.
That's what
They
I'm
know
saying.
each other's writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a nasty lady. People are right. She's like, hey, Mom, can I get a coffee, please? Oh, thanks. I'm down here under the flower bed. Thanks for that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just getting right down here. Can you say, yeah, no, thank you. Oh, you know what I needed. Thanks, Mom. Oh, awesome.
Thank you for my hat.
Hey, Mom, yeah, I don't want them to hear me because if I talk on a phone, she thought of it. Earphones. Thank you for my thanks for the earphones, Mom. Love you.
Gee, Mom, thanks for everything.
Sitting on TV remotes and porno, and I'll be down here for the next week. Some chips too, please. Chips.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, she's definitely not going to put a date on it. She's not going to sign. I mean, why would you do that? But then again,
it's just to him. It's just to him. Like, what does he need a date for? He lives on the road.
But then again, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't need a day unless it's like Wednesday or Saturday. That's what I need to know. How
Then
close
again,
are we
at
to
that
Wednesday? How
point,
close are we to Saturday?
Why write anything down at all? Why not just call him on the phone and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
You can't because that leaves a digital trail, a digital footprint. What are you going to tell them to burn the phone and burn the cloud?
No, but I mean, they wouldn't. If you call somebody, it would just show up that she placed a phone call. It's not recording their conversation. She could have been like, "Hey, I was calling to check on him. I was calling to see where he was at," or
How do you know they weren't? When would the letter been given to him? After he was arrested or before? Obviously, he didn't get arrested, so
No, he never.
So, I mean, there was really no reason. Like, if they gave him a gun, it's like, why would they even give him a note? Why wouldn't they just tell him?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why would you?
What's the point of a note?
Yeah. Why would you write anything down? I mean, if this was, I don't know, if he was away from the house, that's what I'm saying. Call him and tell him this stuff because they're not recording each other's conversations. I would hope not.
Her body was found. I think where was it found? It was like it was just really like 150 feet into like over two little creeks of water out. Like she was almost propped up against a tree. He didn't even do a good job
No,
trying to
he
bury
just-
her, and he just propped
he
her up
got
pretty
on-
much.
I don't think he even tried. I think he just left her out there.
Terrible person. I'm glad he's dead, but I wish he wasn't because I wish he was suffering and the family would have got the answers that they deserve.
There's certain to decide, and if it's a questionable,
I'll look it up right now, you guys.
matter, then it should go to a D. But just to not allow it in as irrelevant, I don't think, unless you have something that we don't know, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing that you just said. I mean, if it is an old letter, it's certainly interesting that he had it in the backpack when he went out to the march to commit suicide. Do you think that this single piece of evidence, I mean, it keeps coming up in court. Clearly, the Petito's attorney thinks it's very important. But do you think it's enough to show that there was this pain and suffering and that the Laundries actually knew that
Wyoming,
Gabby
you're
Petito
right.
was dead all along?
Yep.
I don't think this is enough. I think this is a piece of the puzzle. I think when you combine that with the ghosting on Facebook, I mean, who does that, right? Your son's fiance is missing. This is a girl who lived with the Brian Laundrie parents in their home for a year. And when she's missing, you ghost her parents and you press release that is old. That doesn't refer to Gabby. The press release said, we hope the search for Miss Petito is successful. That is cold-blooded. And when you combine all of that with this new bit of evidence, I think that makes for a compelling case for the plaintiffs. And at the very least, I think it is evidence that a jury should see.
Well, does she go to jail? Will she go to jail? Like, what happens to Roberta? She gets gone, doesn't she?
Like,
I mean, isn't that like a conspiracy to commit a crime?
It would be conspiracy to help him
It's a
cover
conspiracy
it
to
up.
commit a crime, right?
Yeah. It definitely would be.
Something. Throw her ass in jail. Throw her ass in jail. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they can,
Makes
if
it
they
look
can
more,
100%.
it makes it look like it's more like feasible now that she helped him get out of the house. She helped him get on the run. She helped him go. She told him where to go. Like they knew. They had to have known.
Well,
completely.
The thing that tipped it off to me that Roberta and Chris knew exactly what was going on. How is it that they went out there? We're going to go search for our son. They walked direct path right to where he was. No, look, we found him.
Yep. Yeah, we don't need your
how
help.
obvious is that?
Yeah.
Whenever
They
they
knew the
had
water
other
was going to be
searchers out
roused up
there
too.
for, they had all them other searchers out there for days and days and days and didn't find anything. Brian and Roberta, Chris and Roberta jumped straight out the truck, walked straight down to him, like, oh, here he is.
In sandals too, like Chris was, like his little sandals.
but we're supposed to think, oh, they had no idea where he was at or what he was doing out there. They knew exactly where he was.
Dude, I blame a lot of this on Bertolino. I'm not gonna lie. Blame a lot of this on Bertolino. The confusion, the nastiness.
Exactly. Bob the Tomato should have never got involved.
Tomato Head, yeah.
It was not even that type of case for him to even get involved with it.
Right. Well, yeah, it had nothing to do with like real estate planning or anything.
No.
Estate planning.
Escape planning, maybe.
And you're
estate.
Do you think
escape? Good one. He was an estate planning attorney, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how does
he got confused.
Yeah,
escape.
Yeah,
Close enough.
That's clever of you, bro. Yeah, the Great Escape. It's the Great Escape. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Criminal charges could possibly already off the table. And remember, according to the Petito attorney, the FBI already had this letter. But do you think we may ever see criminal charges with the parents?
I don't think so, Brian. I think the justice that Gabby's parents will get will have to come in civil court through this lawsuit. But as far as criminal charges, you need more than a letter. You would have to show that Brian tried to help him escape, did perhaps hide evidence, tried to destroy evidence, then charge him with tampering with evidence or with accessory after the fact. But to charge them with accessory to me is not enough.
Why would he unalive himself if he didn't?
Interesting. Yeah, we've got the lawsuit now happening in Florida near where you are, and the lawsuit.
Also, I have all that paperwork. Let's see, it's a motion. This is the motion to dismiss the second amended complaint. I mean, they've got the Laundries are trying to pull out all stops right now. I have this in a PDF. What I'll do is we'll save this and we'll read this maybe tomorrow or another day for Gabby. I think right now we're gonna get ready for the other show. Right. I don't want to. This is where I get really like emotional because this Gabby Petito thing, like her lives could have been saved so many different times in that few days before she died.
Exactly.
I feel like everybody failed her. Everybody failed. Yeah. Everybody did. I'm gonna go with that one.
We did. It's sad.
With that one, and we'll get back to it. Definitely get back to it, you guys. Come over and join us at Crime and Justice's channel. We got a couple cases we'll be talking over there. Then we'll be back over here for Summer Wells. That's going to be a big show. Actually, I was going to do it this morning, but I think it's going to be better if we do it around like 4:30 Pacific time. And you guys you won't even hear it. You will just be silent, and you'll hear the video that's put together for you guys, and it'll make a lot of sense. It's the raw uncut footage interview for Leslie, Hunter, Ali, great grandson, in McDonough. So it gets good, and we do a good evaluation on it. So please come and check us out over here in about a couple hours. But we'll be over there probably in the next 45 minutes. Go over Crime and Justice channel. Can you put your link out there so people can go over there? Like, share, and subscribe as well if you could, guys. I'd appreciate that. Much love, son kitten. Thank you for being here. And Crime and Justice, thanks for always being a co-host that I can count on. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
See you in a minute. Oh, hit that thumbs up on your way out, people. See you guys later for sure. Thank you, Dowd and Crime. Thank you, Buddy Bailey. Thank you so much, you guys. Vaughn, thank you and your toe. Raven, thank you so much. Here's the link right here for Crime and Justice. You guys hit that up. Show some love. Put your DNA on her like button. Accessory? Yeah, maybe. Thank you, guys.